Christian and Buddhism for 10 years, and since 7 years, I have been living as the Buddhist monk.
我练习冥想和佛法已有10年，自7年以来，我一直过着佛教僧侣的生活。
Wow. Wow, 10 years.
So now I am wandering around and doing good deeds with mindfulness and detachment as much as possible to meet the needs of the others and to cultivate my own spiritual path of enlightenment.
所以现在我四处游走，尽可能以正念和超脱的态度做善事，以满足他人的需求，并培养我自己的精神启蒙之路。
Wow. I teach for the Westerners online, the meditation and the Buddhist life. Mainly, I feel connected to the Asian people because there are many auspicious roots concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha.
我在网上教西方人冥想和佛教生活，但我主要感觉与亚洲人民有联系，因为有很多与佛陀、佛法和僧伽有关的吉祥根源。
Because in the Western society, there are not many good opportunities or chances to do good deeds freely with mindfulness and detachment, concerned with enlightenment, or concerned with the life of a monk.
社会没有太多的好机会或机遇去自由地以与僧侣生活有关的正念和超善事。
Because in general, in the Western society or culture, there is not much awareness about spirituality or the life of a monk.
因为西方社会或文化中，人们对灵性或僧侣生活普遍没有太多的认识。
So this is my first time in Taiwan, but somehow I can feel at home and I can wander around freely in strange clothing and with an unusual approach to life, and I can feel very safe and comfortable. But in America or in the West, it would not be so easy. Wow.
所以，这是我第一次来台湾，但不知何故，我感觉像在家一样，我可以穿着奇怪的衣服，用一种不寻常的方式自由地四处游荡，我感觉非常安全和舒适。但在美国或西方，这并不容易。
在台湾是非常安全。
对的，应该不会排斥外来的族群。
Do you have any question, little one?
No.
你还有什么疑问吗？
只有听得懂这一句你就 no。
好笑，神经。看要怎么办呢？
有没有对他有什么想法，或者什么想要了
台湾可
解？
以很安全。
代表他也是接受他这样的，
对，
不会觉得很奇怪。
你跟他讲也没关系啊。
哇，
可以等了。
可以啊，你可以翻译啊。
就我的翻译软体为什么它这边
对啊，语音啊。
我这里有一口给我，你说来喝掉。
在台湾可以很安全。
没有，不是，他很烫。
哦，这个杯子会烫。
大声。 开始声音，开了，对不对？
你来台湾多久？
第一次要背起来。
How long have you been in Taiwan?
Oh, the day before yesterday,
Yesterday?
in the morning, I arrived.
早上。
前天早上我到了。
哦。
住在。
Because the Buddhist roots are very subtle and hidden deeply in the hearts or the blood of the Chinese culture. So any culture that is connected to that, actually the Buddhist roots are quite deep there. So I feel comfortable just like I'm at home. Actually, I feel much more comfortable here than I would in America.
因为佛教的根源非常微妙，深深地隐藏在中国文化的内心或血液中，所以任何与之相关的文化，佛教的根源都相当深厚，所以我感觉很舒服，就像在家一样。事实上，我在这里比在美国感觉舒服得多。
哦。
那他住哪里？那你现在住哪里？
So where do you live now?
Oh. Actually, I don't live anywhere, but my teacher has a temple nearby, so we will sleep there tonight, and then in the morning we will fly to Thailand.
Thailand. 哦。
其实我不住在任何地方，但我的老师在附近有一座寺庙，所以我们今晚会在那里睡觉，然后明天早上我们将飞往泰国。
哦。
哦。
Thailand。
他们这个算什么教？
佛教。
佛教。佛教。
是有点像西藏那一类，不是喇嘛吧？不是，
它是小乘佛教，西藏那是大乘佛教。
还有10块钱。
哇。
这些是给孩子们的礼物。
你可以选一个。
Also have
好痛！哇，不喜欢的，对。
你个人喜欢哪一个？
珠宝哎。
这个把它放在里面才不会滚来滚去的。
一个哦。
对。
these jewels are some of the best gifts because it gives a very deep teaching about the nature of value related to perception. Because if a monk gives you something like this, you probably don't know if it's real or not. You don't know what's happening, and that is kind of an access to wisdom moment.
这些珠宝是最好的礼物之一，因为它对于感知相关的价值本质进行了非常深刻的教诲。因为如果一个僧人给你这样的东西，你可能不知道它是不是真的，你不知道发生了什么，而这是一种获得智慧的时刻。
Yeah.
还是这个。
So this small item can give you the reminder concerned with the transparency of the mind that is always clear and complete in all situations. Sometimes we forget it, but then we come back to the clarity. And the transparency of the turtle is also pointing to the shell of virtue. And inside of the shell of virtue is, of course, the flower of generosity. So if you can remember like this, your life will be full of blessings for sure.
所以这个小物件可以提醒你，心灵的透明度在任何情况下都是清晰和完整的。有时我们会忘记它，但随后我们又回到清晰和透明的状态。乌龟的透明度也指向美德的壳，美德壳里面当然是慷慨之花。所以如果你能这样记住，你的生活肯定会充满祝福。Thank you。
有礼貌的，有礼貌的。还有，圣体这样子不行，还有 Thank you。
对。
那你还会回来台湾吗？
Will you come back to Taiwan?
没听到。
是的，如果我能活下来。
Why?
Tomorrow is not for certain, even for the people living in the penthouse.
即使对住在顶层公寓的人来说，明天也不确定。
对啊。
There are many Buddhist places in Taiwan that you can visit.
Honestly, my great aspiration is to develop or cultivate the mind to be able to live in the streets in a place like this, so that I can wander freely all the time, do things like this, and sleep wherever. So in that way, I can help people moment by moment, and also I can advocate for Buddhism in the country and society.
说实话，我最大的愿望是发展或培养自己的心智，能够在这样的地方生活在街头，这样我就可以一直自由地游荡，做这样的事情，睡在任何地方，这样我就可以时时刻刻帮助别人，我也可以在国家和社会中倡导佛教。
Because many people don't think about this, but actually there is no such thing as Chinese culture without Buddhism. And the Buddhism is all about the power of wisdom, and there are many good chances and good opportunities to help each other and to help the society, Buddhist practice or Buddhist teachings. And usually that has to be embodied for people to be inspired enough about it to take it seriously.
因为很多人没有考虑过这一点，但实际上没有佛教就没有中国文化。佛教讲的是智慧的力量，有很多好的机会可以通过佛教修行或佛教教义来帮助彼此，帮助社会。通常这些都必须体现出来，才能让人们受到足够的启发，认真对待它。
辛苦就算阿妈。
对啊，对啊
Well, so nice to meet all of you, and I wish you all the best blessings in your life and with your family, and that you may be protected and safe.
Okay, thank you very much.
来听听看。
对。
我祝愿你和你的家人生活幸福、平安喜乐。
OK，妹妹，
Namo
阿弥陀佛。
观世音菩萨，Namo 观世音菩萨，Namo 观世音菩萨。
谢谢谢谢。
Um,
We will go back.
yeah, go safely.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I couldn't to tell you where I am sleeping or eating, but where I am living and drinking tea is here in Taiwan at this moment.
如果翻译就可以了，是的。
我知道，没有不然，反正不知道。
OK。
拜拜拜拜。
Oh, 阿弥陀佛。
谢谢谢谢。
So this one. This one is this one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This one here. Maybe we try one piece, this one. Yes, I'm a part of the ancient group of monks in the mountains. That's right. How did you know? Oh. So the teaching here is that it's not about what you think. What you think is just what you had thought. So what? You had a thought. You passed gas. No problem. Yeah, you have to be willing to give up your life, abandon your life. And we don't necessarily need to do that to kind of bring up that notion or bring up that sense of, well, you could abandon your life, so what does that look like? And one way or another, life is going to pass. So you have to accept that. There is no step 2 without step 1. And going step by step is just as useful as having a good direction. Otherwise, you can go step by step all you want, you won't get where you want to go. Right? And a lot of people, it's that it's not about what you think. Life and this and reality is not about your thoughts. It's just that you're not willing to detach, or you don't practice to detach, to abandon, to let go, to forgive. And that means that thoughts become these kind of fundamental principles for how you view the world, how you live your life, and how everything goes. And that's a real shame, because life isn't really about thoughts. Life is about a lot more than thinking. And, we should try to be open to that more and more. Because life isn't easy, and staying consistent with meditation is not easy. But it's worthwhile, and you have to have a lot of patience and a lot of openness to make use of what's already here, and make use of what becomes available. Because there's no ideal situation, there's no ideal version of yourself, there's no ideal world. This is the world we live in, and this is the moment we have to practice meditation with. So a lot of teachers I and my teacher and many teachers, they really emphasize a right view. So instead of fixating on the view of you being someone and you having a life and you having a past and you having a future, meditate on no self. Meditate on not someone, not somewhere, not some situation. In the midst of the situation, in the midst of the now, not something. So it's really hard work, but it's really beneficial. And there's a chant in the Plum Village tradition, and I'm sure it stems from original Mahayana Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, but that this practice thought of as uncurable, this mindfulness and detachment. So you can cure all kinds of things through that practice. Mental sicknesses or physical sicknesses. My teacher likes to say that what you give, you get back. So you have to look at how much you're giving, how much you're doing for the others, how much you're activating and getting out and involved in life, rather than just constantly thinking about how you're going to get what you want. We get through giving. And that goes into forgiving, that goes into Thanksgiving, that goes into Christmas. That goes into all the wonderful things in life are actually about giving and about generosity. So the relationship that you have with generosity in your life is how successful you're going to be in meditation and how wonderful your life is either going to be or not be, depending on your relationship with giving. The access you have to new communities, to new experiences, to new peoples, to healing, it's all about giving. We continue our practice daily, and really daily is kind of not how we continue our practice, but how we come back to our resolve, we come back to our commitment, we come back to our intention. You have to find a new intention daily to go and be inspired on this path. The practice has to be moment by moment. And that is not a struggle or a stress. It's a relief, it's a release, it's a relax, it's an embrace, it's an opening, it's a blooming of the lotus. It's wonderful. We're really talking about detachment, and we're talking about a real release and relax of the whole body and mind, without any transaction, without any expectation. Just gonna get this bowl here.
手机没电了，那翻了。他没电了，我的没电。
What? Here. Ah.
请问你要说什么问题？
Oh.
只是碗。
哦，它是杯子，杯子。
啊。
你要翻译，直接对他的那个翻译。
它是一个杯子，在喝水用的。
是的。
OK。
你要买那个吗？你要买那个杯子吗？
Here.
你要买那个杯子吗？
你要买这个杯子。
你要买那个杯子吗？
Do you want to buy that cup?
他要多少钱？
台币1000块。
1,000 new Taiwan dollars.
刚刚是跟他讲1000块，对。
Puerty, Puerty. Um,
这个
好，
你爱什么呢？
好了，
你爱处理什么？
我处理。
我没有足够的。
OK。
Thank you，拜拜。
啊，谢谢。
谢谢。
我有一些美元。
哦，阿弥陀佛。
谢谢，谢谢。
没关系，没关系。OK，好。OK。
谢谢。
拜拜。
阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛。 beautiful.
甚至可能会陷入植物人状态。赵露思倒下的那一刹那，吴磊那一瞬间仿佛瞬间失去了整个世界，他的眼泪像是开闸的洪水，汹涌而出，无法遏制。那种无法控制的悲伤和无助，似乎彻底吞噬了他的一切。赵露思的父亲知道，吴磊不仅仅是一个朋友，一个演员，更多时候，他是赵露思生命中的一个依靠，一个在他最脆弱时也会毫不犹豫地站出来的男人。吴磊看着躺在病床上毫无生气的赵露思，心头的痛楚如刀割一般，每一秒钟都是煎熬。我们常说痛不欲生，而吴磊的表情恰恰是那种真正让人担心的失落感。如果有人能够在这瞬间捕捉到吴磊泪流满面的瞬间，拍下那种充满情感的眼神交汇，或许这张照片将成为未来某一刻赵露思最珍贵的回忆之一。风雨无情，我有情，这是生命对吴磊露丝发出的陪伴，岁月送来的礼物。世间万物皆在变化，但吴磊露丝心中那份执着的情感，始终如此时代进步。一刻如果可以好起来的露丝，对他们曾经的爱惜着。瞬间摧毁所有人心中最后的希望。当狂风暴雨席卷而来，带走了大地的温柔与安宁，摧残了曾经繁华的景象，只有一颗心依旧能够安稳地守望着另一个心。尤其是对于一直在他身边默默守护的吴磊来说，这个打击一定是最为沉重的。这一生，无论风雨如何变化，哪怕百转千回，露丝都愿意与吴磊并肩而行，直到最后一刻。纵使白发泪满襟，岁月的侵袭让吴磊露丝变得不再年轻，时光的无情带走了曾经那份轻盈与活力。白发渐生，眼角的皱纹也悄然爬上，曾经鲜亮的肤色被岁月染上了一抹苍老。岁月也许会带走吴磊露丝最初的样貌，无论时光如何流转，吴磊露丝的心总会紧紧相依。从那一刻起，吴磊的脸上便布满了难以言表的痛苦，眼泪再也没有停止过。明星的工作看似光鲜，
阿弥陀佛，
实则
谢谢。
有时是令人难舍的。赵露思的父亲到这一年已经无知的。
6。
啊，弥陀佛。
那这个距离
是啊，
红色那个。
我知道啊，原川啊。那你干嘛不直接买1000吧？
但是没地方放哦，那个略扣1000趴我都没拆。
哦。
然后好像太小。那我放我家我又看不到。
为什么？
那我都睡他家。哦。但是我买那个我想比较多。
Did you? Did you? 你有吗？你有吗？
你赢了这些东西吗？
没有 ，no no。他自己买的。
你从其他地方买了它，并把它带到这里。
Yes, yes, yes.
这是你的商店。
America 法式，America 法式。哦，对。法式。阿弥陀佛，南无观世音菩萨。哎，做不懂。哎，10。Only 10。
那是在直播吗？
不知道。
你走走路不好。
一定不知道，肯定买不出来。然后我们喊多少人？你确定他讲出来？
我觉得应该讲不出来。他怎么刚好选我一百个变成
对，可是感觉很像哎，聊得很像。
我感觉快出来了，但应该也对。
阿弥陀佛。阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛。
ဦးစီးကြောင်းဦးစီးမှတ်တာဦးစီးကြောင်းလာတယ်။ဆုံးမစားပြဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းဒါဟိုဆရာလေးရောမမေရောစာနဲ့ပို့တယ်လေ။ဆုံးမစားပြအကြောင်းမျိုးဆောင်ပါနော်။ဆုံးမစားပြဒီဘက်ကိုဦးစီးကြောင်းလာတဲ့ဒီဘက်ချက်ကလေးဒါဦးစီးဒီဘက်အတွက်လောက်ပြီးဆိုရင်လောက်ဆရာဦးစီးတာပြစားပါနော်။ရှိဘူးမှလည်းဒီတိုင်ကအဲ့ရလေးလာရင်းနဲ့နေရတာဟိုလည်းဟိုလည်းပုံကြီးနဲ့တည်တယ်။ဆရာလေးကိုလည်းဟိုဆောက်ပို့တယ်။မမေတို့ကလူကြီးတယ်လေ။ဒါဦးစီးအင်းမဟိုတော့ဘုံနေလို့ရတယ်။အဲ့တော့ဦးစီးဒါမျိုးကြာတော့ကြာပြီးတော့မှာတော့ဒါလေးကိုပြတာတော့ဒီလိုပြတာတော့ဆက်လက်လို့အောင်လို့ဒီလိုကြားတယ်။ခုနကတော့ဘယ်လိုပြောလဲဒီမှာတော့ဒီဘောနဲ့တော့ဒီလိုရှင်းရတာပြရတယ်။အခုဒီမှာတော့ဒီလိုတော့အဲ့တော့
So Well, it might seem that way in terms of being a monk and being in a bustling city, being in Taiwan, being in the streets at night, that there's, it's difficult to focus. For me, it's supportive to my focus because I'm not just showing up here, putting on robes, or kind of got some idea in my mind and I'm going and walking around. I have a master. I've met and I follow and I train with meditation masters of the mind, who have been practicing for decades and decades, who have, what you or I would consider to be kind of like supernatural powers. I mean, it's blow out of the water in terms of the nature of their mind and how they relate to reality. So for me, it's really a deep and a great aspiration in me to be able to go into these environments, into the city, into the nightlife, into the bustling areas, and practice mindfulness and detachment, and be a source of virtue. Ideally, hopefully, be a source of wisdom, and to inspire people to get concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. To start looking at how can we work together more? How can we develop more meditation centers in hubs of society? So anyway, it's a very deep and meaningful practice for me to go out and to wander, and to just be a source of mindfulness and detachment, and doing good deeds, giving out the gifts to the children, and just having nice, wholesome, compassionate interactions with people from a place of mindfulness and detachment as a Buddhist monk is very important to me. And definitely here in Taiwan, there's a lot of opportunities for that. But you have to be careful. Ideally, skillfully, we want to be following a authorized teacher, a real master, and there's not many of them around. But that is what we ideally want to do. So if things get really difficult, if things get bad, if things get off kilter, we have a place to go for refuge for the long term. We don't have to think ourselves through our problems in that situation, but actually we have a community, a teacher, a way of life to take refuge in, that's based on our spiritual intentions and direction of life. So it's very important. It's very important to me, because I wouldn't be able to carry a degree of stability or the practice of meditation with me in these bustling environments if it weren't for having that refuge to come back to. Because if I didn't have that refuge to come back to, I could really get twisted up inside of myself. I could develop a lot of knots in my mind. And the work here and the practice here is to release all of these knots in the mind, to release, period, 100%, 110% plus ultra, to release all complicated thoughts in the mind, all notions of self in the mind, all notions of permanent separate objects in the mind. And this is the teaching, this is the wisdom pathway. So you like it or get out of here. And it's not about liking or disliking either. So this is where we actually have to be patient, we have to be open, we have to look closely at all the many Dharma doors so that we make sure that we're using them. Otherwise, we're just thinking a lot of nonsense, and that's not what this is about. As long as you can use the Dharma doors that are here already, you won't need to go anywhere. You won't need to do anything. You won't need to be anyone. Just walk right on through. And a lot of times, I just had an experience of this this morning. A lot of the times we're we're trying to meditate, we're trying to, get our groove on internally or something like that. And really, sometimes it's that stepping out. We're trying to fix our depression, we're trying to fix our anxiety, we're trying to fix our complicated thoughts. Sometimes the work is just to step out, to go and walk out, to go and wander, to go and breathe. And it's not about fixating or focusing on some kind of special meditation method as much as it is being mindful and detaching from whatever it is that we're fixated on or involved with, even if it's meditation, even if it's listening to a Dhamma talk, etc. And that's where the more profound and meaningful meditations actually come from, is that quality and that approach, that kind of approach. Now that's Bhante, all right. Just seeing about the quality here, so it looks good. Back to the question, is the present moment real? Everything, 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 everything. The crystalline everythingness of what is already here and now. If anybody knows a good source for some high quality fake jewels like this, please do let me know. It doesn't have the light in it. But this is something that's really, I could use a storehouse of these jewels. This is a little bit of a dark example. This is even darker example. Try to keep it light. Try to keep it lighthearted. So this, if you ever see these, and do, high quality, ideally, of these fake jewels, they're very good teaching instruments for me when I go around, when I wander. Because really, when a monk gives you something like this, and usually I give them to the children, you have no idea if that's real or not. And it just points, it brings us to this place of wonder, and it brings us to this place of kind of great doubt, this wonder of, what really is value and what really is real. Because the experience is what's real in that, and that experience isn't about this. So well, see, in these countries, language is just language is a little bit too much of a simple term. So like, language is a means of communication or a means of karmic affinity. So when I'm a Buddhist monk in Thailand, for example, the language of the Buddhism, the language of being a serious monk, a serious practitioner, is more relevant than speaking Thai in terms of communication. So it's a different experience, to be in Asia or in Buddhist countries as a monk, rather than just as a layperson or just a Westerner who's going to Thailand, or a Westerner who's going to Taiwan. Because, like I was talking to those people at the tea shop, this is my first time I've ever been here in Taiwan, and I feel more at home here than I do in America. And that largely has to do with the Buddhist background in the culture and the Buddhist adjacent awareness that the people have. So I can walk around, completely wearing strange clothes, giving fake diamonds and rubies to children, going up and talking to people about Buddhism and meditation kind of freely in the streets. And it's very comfortable. It's a very safe feeling, and also being kind of zonked out in a way of mindfulness and detachment. And it's very comfortable kind of experience, just wandering around, like a crazy person, but as a Buddhist monk with mindfulness and detachment, doing all kinds of good deeds, moment by moment, breath by breath. Amitofo. So it's a process, and you're all along for the journey. I do want to share something very interesting with everyone. One second, please. This is very important.
Found him in the silence, wisdom profound. Not divided by your road flows gold. Taught a restless soul how to be bold. Mind like a fortress, peaceful like a sea. He's through the fog, now he guided me. Rising too, breathing in serenity, sky so blue. Wild visions in the night, demons took their toll. You showed me how to simmer, find peace in the whole jungle of the modern life. His words cut clear, a lighthouse in the storm, no fear, he's near. Bounty, master of the mind, guiding me to moments where true peace I find. Bounty, wisdom in his hands. On the noble path he helps me understand. Temple bells chime, reality unwinds. Karma's gentle dance, no rewind. Bounty spoke of Dharma, teachings of the wise. Cleared the clutter, opened up my eyes. Nirvana in the distance, steps so small. Journey with his presence, never let me fall. Mindful steps, every lesson clear. Taught to let go, no need to steer. Compassion is my compass, love without bounds. With Monte's grace, inner peace found. Bounty, master of the mind. Guiding me to moments where true peace I find. Bounty, wisdom in his hands. On the noble path he helps me understand. Temple bells chime, reality unwind. Guiding me to moments where true peace I find. Bounty, boundary wisdom in his hands. On the noble path, he helps me understand.
So, on this path, we have to learn to love ourselves, and we have to learn how to trust other people. And there is pride. So, we have to learn how to use pride in the right way. And the right way to use pride is to be confident to help other people, and to be confident to know when what we're doing is right, just in the same way that we know when what we are doing is wrong. Be brave, and we have to be serious about this. We live in a culture, if we're coming from an American background, where we're told to not trust anyone. And in American culture, I mean, to a certain degree, that's important. You know, that you don't trust anyone, because there is a culture of greed there, and that culture of greed is systematically dismantling relationships with other people. You only trust people who deceive us, or trust people who hold a kind of a proverbial carrot in front of us, you know, and we're taught to kind of be donkeys in the machine of capitalism. So, you know, I'm to dismantle capitalism. I'm here to dismantle the machine of greed as much as I'm able to. You know, and to a large degree, I don't really care what people think about me, or what people think about that. I care about doing good deeds more and more with mindfulness and detachment. I care about helping people according to their needs, and supporting people to be able to, according to their abilities, help others. Dismantling religion is more in the realm of, like, actually dismantling psychology. And to dismantle psychology, you need to be supported by wisdom, you need guidance, you need support, and you need a community that's based in wisdom and generosity. So that's what the Sangha is. Um, you know, so it's not really a religious thing as much as it is a practical thing. No spiritual institution that holds a candle to the institution of Buddhism, and, you know, you like that, you don't like that. It's not about that. It's just the way that it is. And if we're spiritually inclined people, it would be a good idea to make use of the system of Buddhism to develop community and to sustain it, for the purpose of doing deeds with mindfulness and detachment for all, limitlessly. So my main work is cultivating and developing my dharmas, to have more wisdom, to have more opportunities to cultivate consistently, and you know, to develop my virtue and my generosity, so that I'll be able to support in more and more subtle and profound ways. And development just happens through that, and that's Buddhism. It's not about creating a cult, or creating an appearance of anything. It's a lot deeper than that. It has to be sustainable and to make an impact. Well, most of our psychology is just cultural, or like a created truth. So we want to know how to use the created truth. We want to know how to use psychology, but not to be attached to it. Buddhist psychology is significantly richer, deeper, and more well established than just psychology, Western psychology, or whatever you want to think about it. Yeah. You don't have to be a Buddhist. You don't have to be here. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to do anything. You know, you has to die. But it doesn't have to do anything else, because you is more so impermanent than it is anything at all. Um, you know, and this work and this direction is mainly concerned with the children. It's concerned with the people in poverty. It's concerned with the people who have needs, greater needs. It's not concerned with people who are generally curious, or feel entertained by content. This is my vehicle when I post online, or when I do live streams, or when I teach or try to answer people's questions. It's mainly me exploiting or making use of the opportunity to do good deeds with mindfulness and detachment more and more. Hello? Yes? Yes? Hello? Okay. Okay, come. Where? Oi. Oh, Kaunde. Amitofo. So, yeah, giving without clinging. You can call it that as well. This is my chance to be inspired, because if I was just facing the wall, it would be difficult for me to feel, engaged in this way. But I don't want anything from you. I don't have any ideas about, what you need to do or what you should do. That's up to you. And this is up to me, and this is what I'm doing. So, I do my best to keep doing like this freely and limitlessly. Particular person here, positive or negative, people who support me and in all kinds of ways, it's very much appreciated. But I dare to detach from that as much as I dare to detach from people who would wish on my downfall, people who can't stop drinking haterade. So it's that's my vow, that's my commitment to practice like that. And a lot of people just don't understand the degree of sacrifice that takes to do that, to renounce interpersonal relationships, and to renounce those kinds of involvements with other people. It's very, very intensive and difficult, honestly, but very worthwhile. And the not caring is not callousness, it's just I'm willing to detach. I dare to detach. I don't dare to attach or to seek after. Of course, I care about people. I want people to be happy and peaceful and free from suffering, but the the main intention is just to give and not to expect anything, not to expect anyone. There's no past and there's no future. There's just this refracting, reflecting in all kinds of ways, limitless ways, trillions of ways. And that's the world originates from the refraction of this. Really. So it's interesting and profound in a way that is beyond profundity or interest. Don't give up. Widen out, brighten out. Everything, everything, everything. So, don't give up. Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Anza Samugate Soha. Teya down Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Anza Samugate Soha. Taum Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. Taum Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. Taum Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. Taum Bekanze, Bekanze. Soha. Taum Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. Teya Taum Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. Teya Taum Bekanze, Bekanze, Maha Bekanze, Lanza Samungate Soha. 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 So, as much as there is silence, there can be interesting experiences or interesting things. There can be images, there can be incense, there can be vibrational fields, all kinds of things, but there are side effects if we rely on that too much. And a major side effect is that we're kind of having having a major predisposition towards being tangled up in things and tangled up in appearances. So the way does not depend on appearances. The path to enlightenment doesn't depend on appearances. Let's go into the Diamond Sutra together. Can everybody hear clearly? Can everybody hear okay? Volume is really low, so maybe it's better if I talk like this, huh? All right. Please listen closely to the great Diamond Sutra. Thus have I heard. Upon a time, Buddha sojourned in Anathapindika's park by Shravasti with a great community of bhikshus, monks, even 1,250 monks. One day, at the time for breaking the fast, the world-honored one enrobed and carrying his bowl made his way into the great city of Shravasti to beg for his food. In the midst of the city he begged from door to door according to rule. This done, he returned to his retreat and took his meal. When he had finished, he put away his robe and begging bowl, washed his feet, arranged his seat, and sat down. Now in the midst of the assembly was the venerable Subhuti. Forthwith he arose, uncovered his right shoulder, knelt upon his right knee, and respectfully, raising his hands with palms joined, addressed the Buddha thus: World-honored one, it is most precious how mindful the Tathagata is of all the bodhisattvas. So Tathagata is a title of the Buddha. We'll get into the meaning of that a little bit later. And a bodhisattva is an advancing devotee of enlightenment. A bodhisattva is an advancing devotee of enlightenment. World-honored one. It is most precious how mindful the Tathagata is of all the bodhisattvas, protecting and instructing them so well. World-honored one, if good men and good women and good non-binary beings seek the consummation of incomparable enlightenment, by what criteria should they abide, and how should they control their thoughts? Buddha said, Very good, Subhuti. Just as you say, the Tathagata is ever mindful of all the bodhisattvas, protecting and instructing them well. Now listen and take my words to heart. I will declare to you by what criteria good men and good women and good non-binary beings seeking the consummation of incomparable enlightenment should abide, and how they should control their thoughts. Said Subhuti, Pray, do world-honored one. With joyful anticipation, we long to hear. Buddha said, Subhuti, all the bodhisattva heroes should discipline their thoughts as follows. All living creatures of whatever class, born from eggs, from wombs, from moisture, or by transformation, whether with form or without form, whether in a state of thinking or exempt from thought necessity, or wholly beyond all thought realms, all these are caused by me to attain unbounded liberation nirvana. Yet, when vast, uncountable, immeasurable number of beings have thus been liberated, verily, no being has been liberated. Why is this, Subhuti? It is because no bodhisattva, that is, no one who is devoted to enlightenment, that is, it is because, the Buddha said, it is because no bodhisattva who is a real bodhisattva cherishes the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality. Furthermore, Subhuti, in the practice of charity, a bodhisattva should be detached. That is to say, he should practice charity without regard to appearances, without regard to sound, odor, touch, flavor, or any quality. Subhuti, thus should the bodhisattva practice charity without attachment. Wherefore, in such a case, his merit is incalculable. Subhuti, what do you think? Can you measure all the space extending eastward? No, world-honored one, I cannot. Then can you, Subhuti, measure all the space extending southward, westward, northward, or in any other direction, including nadir and zenith? No, world-honored one, I cannot. Well, Subhuti, equally incalculable is the merit of the bodhisattva who practices charity without any attachment to appearances. Subhuti, bodhisattvas should persevere one-pointedly in this instruction. Subhuti, what do you think? Is the Tathagata to be recognized by some material characteristic? Is the Buddha to be recognized by some material characteristic? No, world-honored one, the Tathagata cannot be recognized by any material characteristic. Wherefore? Because the Tathagata has said that material characteristics are not, in fact, material characteristics. Buddha said, Subhuti, wheresoever are material characteristics, there is delusion. But whoso perceives that all characteristics are in fact no characteristics, perceives the Buddha. Subhuti said to Buddha, World-honored one, will there always be men who truly believe after coming to hear these teachings? Or women? Buddha answered, Subhuti, do not utter such words. At the end of the last 500 period following the passing of the Tathagata, there will be self-controlled men and women, rooted in merit, coming to hear these teachings who will be inspired with belief. But you should realize that such men and women have not strengthened their root of merit under just one Buddha or two Buddhas or three Buddhas or 4 or 5 Buddhas, but under countless Buddhas. And their merit is of every kind. Such men and women coming to hear these teachings will have an immediate uprising of pure faith. Subhuti, the Tathagata, will recognize them. Yes, he will clearly perceive all these of pure heart and the magnitude of their moral excellences. Wherefore, it is because such men and women will not fall back to cherishing the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality. They will neither fall back to cherishing the idea of things as having intrinsic qualities, nor even of things as devoid of intrinsic qualities. Wherefore, because if such men and women allowed their minds to grasp and hold on to anything, they would be cherishing the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality. And if they grasped and held duality, Subhuti said to Buddha, "World honored one, will there always be men who will truly believe after coming to hear these teachings?" Buddha answered, "Subhuti, do not utter such words. At the end of the last 500-year period, following the passing of the Tathagata, there will be self-controlled humans, rooted in merit, coming to hear these teachings who will be inspired with belief. But you should realize that such humans have not strengthened their root of merit under just one Buddha, or two Buddhas, or three or four or five Buddhas, but under countless Buddhas. And their merit is of every kind. Such humans coming to hear these teachings will have an immediate uprising of pure faith. And the Tathagata will recognize them. Yes, he will clearly perceive all these of pure heart and the magnitude of their moral excellences. Wherefore, it is because humans will not fall back to cherishing the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality. They will neither fall back to cherishing the idea of things as having intrinsic qualities, nor even of things as devoid of intrinsic qualities. Wherefore? Because if such humans allowed their minds to grasp and hold on to anything, they would be cherishing the idea of an ego, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality. And if they grasped and held on to the notion of things as having intrinsic qualities, they would be cherishing the idea of an ego entity, being, or a separated individuality. Likewise, if they grasped and held on to the notion of things as devoid of intrinsic quality or a separated individuality. So you should not be attached to things as being possessed of or devoid of intrinsic qualities. This is the reason why the Tathagata always teaches this saying, "My teaching of the good law is to be likened to a raft, unto a raft. The Buddha teaching must be relinquished. How much more so misteaching?" Subhuti, what do you think? Has the Tathagata attained the consummation of incomparable enlightenment? Has the Tathagata a teaching to enunciate? Subhuti answered, "As I understand Buddha's meaning, there is no formulation of truth called consummation of incomparable enlightenment. Moreover, the Tathagata has no formulated teaching to enunciate. Wherefore? Because the Tathagata has said that truth is uncontainable and inexpressible. It neither is nor is not. Thus, it is that this unformulated principle is the foundation of the different systems of all the sages. Great ones, perfect beyond learning, utter no words of teaching. Subhuti, what do you think? Has the Buddha attained the consummation of incomparable enlightenment? Has the Buddha a teaching to enunciate? Subhuti answered, "As I understand Buddha's meaning, there is no formulation of truth called consummation of incomparable enlightenment. Moreover, the Buddha has no formulated teaching to enunciate. Wherefore? Because the Buddha has said that truth is uncontainable and inexpressible. It neither is nor is not. Thus, it is that this unformulated principle is the foundation of the different systems of all the stages." Subhuti, what do you think? If anyone filled 3,000 galaxies of worlds with the 7 treasures and gave all away in gifts of alms, would they gain great merit? Subhuti said, Great indeed, world-honored one. Wherefore? Because merit partakes of the character of no merit, the Tathagata characterized the merit as great. Then Buddha said, On the other hand, if anyone received and retained even only 4 lines of this discourse, and taught and explained them to others, their merit would be the greater. Wherefore, because, Subhuti, from this discourse issue forth all the Buddhas and the consummation of incomparable enlightenment, teachings of all the Buddhas. Subhuti, what is called the religion given by the Buddha is not, in fact, Buddha religion. Subhuti, what do you think? Does a disciple who has entered the stream of the holy life say within himself, I obtain the fruit of a stream entrant? Subhuti said, No, world-honored one. Wherefore? Because stream entrant is merely a name. There is no stream entering. The disciple who pays no regard to form, sound, odor, taste, touch, or any quality is called a stream entrant. Subhuti, what do you think? Does an adept who is subject to only one more rebirth say within himself, I obtain the fruit of a once-to-be reborn? Subhuti said, No, world-honored one. Wherefore? Because once to be reborn is merely a name. There is no passing away nor coming into existence. The adept who realizes this is called once to be reborn. Subhuti, what do you think? Does a venerable one, who will never be reborn as a mortal, say within himself, I obtain the fruit of a non-returner? Subhuti said, No, world-honored one. Wherefore? Because non-returner is merely a name. There is no non-returning, hence the designation non-returner. Subhuti, what do you think? Does a holy one say within himself, I have obtained perfect enlightenment? Subhuti said, No, world-honored one. Wherefore? Because there is no such condition as that called perfective enlightenment. World-honored one, if a holy one of perfective enlightenment said to himself, Such am I, he would necessarily partake of the idea of an ego entity, a personality, a being, or a separated individuality. World-honored one, when the Buddha declares that I excel among holy men in the yoga of perfect quiescence, in dwelling in seclusion and in freedom from passions, I do not say within myself, I am a holy one of perfective enlightenment, free from passions. World-honored one, if I said within myself, Such am I, you would not declare, Subhuti finds happiness abiding in peace and seclusion in the midst of the forest. This is because Subhuti abides nowhere. Therefore he is called Subhuti, joyful abider in peace, dweller in seclusion in the forest.
On a snowy night, the silence speaks. Laughter and joy in the warmth we seek. Generosity flows like a river strong. Mindful hearts beat all night long. Buddha, Santa in the skies above, brings peace and joy with a touch of love. Detachment lights our path anew. Mindfulness in all we do. Give with open hands, detach from greed. The virtues of life are what we need. Chanting echoes, a drum beats grace. In this moment, find your place. Buddha, Santa in the skies above, brings peace and joy with a touch of love. Detachment lights our path anew. Mindfulness in all we do. Appreciate now where we stand, with hearts open wide, hand in hand. A Merry Christmas, a year that's bright, in peace and love. Will unite.
Right now in Taiwan, and be leaving in the morning for Thailand. Just a stop on the way to India. Um, okay. That there is no thing. Not even Buddhism. And that is Buddhism. That's what makes it Buddhism.
Hear the whispers of time's grace, tales carried by the mountain breeze, guided by Buddha's warm embrace in the crystal light's gentle tease. Resonate with the jewel song, harmony.
Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Quiet of my mind, Buddha whispers, peace I'll find. Diamond Sutra softly glow, crystal sounds the waters flow. Flow his name.
Bien. Je suis Je suis Bante Warapano. Je suis Bante Warapano. Yeah, it's great.
In the shade of Dharma where shadows play. In the shade of dark where shadows play. Words of the Buddha guide our way. Through the Dharma's verse we find our path. Whispers of wisdom in every breath. Crystals chime in their endless song. Jewels of light as time moves along. Invoking the name of the enlightened one. Beneath the sky, we're never done. Water flowing in a sacred stream. In the stillness, we dream the dream. Harmonic hearts of resonance so true. In the silence, all things renew. Mountains rise as echoes fade. In the temple, prayers are made. Subtle sounds from the world unseen, bringing peace, pure and clean. Sutra speak of the timeless now. Bow our heads to take our vow. Tibetan chant. By the river's gentle onward stream, whispered tales of Buddha's dream. Underneath the harvest moonlight glow, crystals hum in the underflow. In the whispers of the autumn breeze, teachings bloom like cherry trees. Subtle echoes of the sacred past. In each moment
Everything, everything, everything.
When you walk, bless as well. Not to walk in the walk. Not to walk in the walk. Make the conclusion that dissolve the conclusion together with the walking. Not to concentrate on walking. Not grasping, both grasping, not grasping together with the walk. Walk and bless beyond even the beyond together with walking. Beyond even the beyond itself while you walk. When you awake, it will be beyond awakening without limit. Beyond even the beyond itself together while you walk. So when you awake, it is beyond the awakening, brightened beyond the brightening, empty out without limit. Not just walk in the walk, sit in the sit, stand in the stand, blessed. Not to stand in the standing, walk in the walk, sit in the sit, blessed as well. Not grasping even the not grasping itself. Beyond, even the beyond itself. And it will have no limit. Empty out without a trace. Dissolve without a trace. Awaken beyond the awakening automatically. Together with everything. When you move about, blessed, sit, you blessed, walk, you blessed. Cut, beyond cut and not cut. Awaken, beyond awaken and not awaken. Brighten, beyond brighten and not brighten. Beyond even the beyond itself. Go on in a way that not grasping, both grasping, not grasping, together with everything. So it is the emptiness, the dissolving without a trace. Beyond even the beyond itself, everything. In a way that not grasping, both grasping, not grasping. So it empty out everything without a trace, without limit. Beyond both cut and not cut. It is beyond release, relax for one another. It is the absolute cut to empty out. Beyond cut and not cut. Beyond even the beyond itself together. It is beyond release or relax for one another. It is the extinction, the emptiness for one another, and the ending for one another. It is beyond release, relax for one another. It's more absolute. Might with might and not might together. It is the absolute to cut together, to end together. Everything, my, both my and not my, all the same. That is an absolute cut through emptiness, throughout. Beyond both cut and not cut, might and not might, beyond even the beyond itself. That is having no limit. The emptiness that dissolves, that cleanses the samsara, mahasunyata. Release, relax for one another. That is only a side effect, but the true essence is the emptiness, the extinction, that cleanse. To release, relax, that is minor. But to dissolve, to extinguish, that is the essence of great compassion. That is forever. So when you cut, beyond cut and not cut, not grasping, beyond grasping and not grasping, having no limit, not grasping a way that is beyond grasping and not grasping, without limit, when cut, beyond cut and not cut, having no limit. And it will be the extinction, the emptiness throughout. That is an absolute blessing. And it won't be about realms of existence. No more realms of existence. That is absolute. Realms dissolve the realms itself. Existence dissolve existence. In both realms and existence. Beyond cut and not cut. That is beyond birth and rebirth. Won't be about being deluded in being born and reborn. Beyond my and not my, beyond cut and not cut. That is when there is no delusion in assume of things. Beyond both grasping, not grasping. Not grasping, both grasping, not grasping. That is beyond grasping, not grasping. Might, both might and not might. It is beyond both might and not might. So go beyond both might and not might. Beyond even the beyond itself. Together with everything. When cut, beyond cut and not cut. Don't stay with either cut or not cut, might or not might. And together with everything, all the same. Enlightened for everything. In and cut. For self and everything all at once. When my, beyond my and not my. Not grasping. Beyond grasping and not grasping. When it is beyond the beyond itself. And nothing is left, even the nothing itself. There's no more attached, detached, released, fixate. No burden in trying to attach, detach.
ไม่รู้ก็ยิ่งกว่าไม่ไม่เลย
Mind going beyond mind and not
ภา
mind.
ระในการค่อยเกิดค่อยดับ
So there is no burden
ภาระในการค่อยติด
in trying to begin or end anything, attached or detached, liberated, not
ภาระ
liberated.
ในการที่จะไป
No
ผ่าน
burden
อะไร
in trying to pass or not pass
ร
anything.
อดไม่รอดอะไร
Make it or not
ไม่
make it.
ผ่านอะไรหมดภาระ
Pass
อะไร
or not pass. No more burden.
ไม่ได้อยู่ตรงที่
Of
รอดไม่
trying
รอดไม่ได้อยู่ตรงที่
to
ผ่าน
make
หรือ
it
ไม่
or
ผ่าน
not make it, pass it or
ไม่
not
ได้อยู่
pass
ตรง
it.
ที่นิพพานหรือไม่นิพ
It
พาน
isn't about nibbana or no
ไม่
nibbana.
รู้ก็ยิ่งกว่าไม่ไม่เลย
Mind go beyond both mind and not mind.
ยิ่งกว่าแม้กระทั่งตัวยิ่งกว่า
Beyond even the beyond itself.
แล้วมันจะไม่อยู่ตรงที่อะไรเลย
And it won't be about
หรือ
anything.
ไม่นิพพาน
Won't be about either nibbana or no nibbana,
อ
attached
ยู่ตรงที่พ้นหรือไม่
or
พ้น
not attached, liberated or not liberated. It won't be about being anything.
มันจะไม่ใช่อะไรกับอะไรไปเอง
It won't be about anything in anything automatically.
ไม่รู้ก็ยิ่งกว่าไม่ไม่
เป็นไม่ Beyond mind and not mind.
ดูภาพมันจะกลายเป็นดับล้างว่างล้างไปเอง
And it becomes the power to extinguish and empty out automatically.
ยิ่งกว่าแม้กระทั่งตัวยิ่งกว่าเอง
Beyond even the beyond itself.
สิ่งที่มันไม่เกี่ยวกับการ
Stop.
สิ่งที่มันไม่เกี่ยวกับการเอา
It is something that isn't about grasping or not grasping. It is something without limit.
สิ่งที่มันไม่ใช่การพัฒนาการ
It is something
สิ่งที่มันไม่
that
ล็อก
isn't about
มันเองไม่บล็อก
being bound, being locked in itself.
เอาละมันจะได้ไม่มีขอบเขตล้างไป
Go on.
ว่างล้างไร้ร่องรอยล้างไปเรื่อยๆไม่ลูกก็ยิ่งกว่าไม่ไม่ตลอด
Mind, beyond mind and not mind.
ตามนั้น
That way.
มันจะได้ไม่ดับแบบกดทับ
And it won't be about extinguish and lock
อะไรในดับ
in that extinguishment.
เดี๋ยวยิ่งกว่าดับไม่ดับ
It will be beyond both extinguish or not extinguish, lock or not
ยิ่
lock,
งกว่าบล็อกไม่บล็อก
block or not block.
ยิ่งกว่าแม้กระทั่งตัวยิ่งก
It
ว่า
will
เอ
be
ง
beyond even the beyond itself.
นั่นแหละทั้งหมดของสิ่งที่เรียกว่าไม่เอาแม้กระทั่งตัวไม่
That
เอา
is
เอง
all
ทั้งหมดของสิ่งที่เรียกว่าไม่เอา
of not grasping, both grasping and not
ของสิ่งที่เรี
grasping.
ยกว่าไม่เอาแม้กระทั่งตัวไม่เอาเอง
That is all of not grasping, even the not grasping itself.
หมดปุถุชนหมดอริยะไป
And it will be the end
หมดทั้งปุถุชน
of both being noble
หมด
ones
ทั้งโลกุตละ
or unnoble ones.
อริยะนี่ยังเป็นอยู่ไง
Even being noble ones, still
อรหันต์
being,
นี่ไม่จัดว่าเป็นอะไร
but arahants
อรหันต์นี่ไม่จัดว่าเป็นหรือไม่เป็น
cannot say that it's being or not
ไม่
being.
จัดให้ไงว่าเป็นอรหันต์อรหันต์เป็นอรหันต์เป็น
Arahants
แบบนั้นอรหันต์เป็นแบบนี้
are not
อรหันต์เป็น
beings,
แบบก็เป็นแบบที่ปุถุชนให้เป็น
only human beings that categorize arahants as being arahants. But actually, arahants are not either being or not being, but noble ones.
ยังอยู่
They are still attached, detached. They are still being something, still being released and fixate. Let go and not let go. Those are noble ones. So in the burden, not grasping even the not grasping. Not grasping, both grasping, not grasping. So it's no more burden of trying to reach Nibbana or not reaching Nibbana, trying to be liberated or not liberated. It will be the end of burden of trying to let go, not let go. End of delusion to practice. End of the delusion to contemplate. Beyond both mind and not mind. Beyond grasping, not grasping. Not having, even the not having. On mind and not mind. So it has no limit. No limits. Beyond mind and not mind. Beyond even the beyond itself. Not having, both having, not having. Don't be deluded in being monk, being Mara, being noble, being unnoble. That is fantasy. Still being monks, being Maras, still being in the being. That is fantasy. Beyond mind and not mind. Beyond grasping, not grasping. Not being even the not being itself. Not having even the not having itself. Don't obsess with being deluded in not having. Not having even the not having itself. Don't be deluded in not having anything, not having the not having. And it will have no limit. Awaken without limit. It is an awakening, a brightening without limit. A limitless power. beyond mind and not mind. That is when it go on without limit by itself, not staying with mind or not mind. Staying with mind and not mind, that is limited. And if we become great compassion of awakening without limit, to awaken for the samsara, awakened and brightened without limit for the samsara, shine out for the samsara, to dissolve the samsara. Your eyes, ears, we become the awakening without limit, beyond mind and not mind. You let go again. Let go of the letting go again. There's always samsara, inner, outer. You have to keep let go of the letting go more and more. Let go end the letting go itself. Let go of the letting go. That is when let go end the letting go more. Come out of the coming out. In not grasping the non-grasping, not grasping in the not grasping, not grasping in the not grasping, not grasping the non-grasping itself, that is. Not grasping means not grasping from the non-grasping itself, everything. Samsara, there's always grasping and not grasping. Samsara has both grasping and not grasping. It has let go and not let go, samsara. So grasping, not grasping. If you still keep on grasping, not grasping, let go, not let go, it will never end. Have to let go of the letting go. That is when let go end the letting go. Not grasping has to not grasping the non-grasping itself. That is when not grasping ends the not grasping. If it is grasping, not grasping, it is samsara, samsara of grasping and not grasping.